was a grand reveal there, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do in this video is we're going to have a look at the next patch in the Alan Strange book. Okay, so it's got a cool name. It's this one here. It's called a Retrograde Sequencer, and it's got 6 steps here, and it's got 5 steps here, and so we're getting a 6-step sequencer on VCO1, and then VCO2 is getting a sequence every 5th step. So you can see that every 5th step of a 5-step sequence, it's getting, so every 5th step, so it's going to be 5/6, and it's going to share the same voltage as this one. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to sound, but we're going to listen to a little bit about what it says about it, because it does actually say, it describes it in cool ways in the Alan Strange book. Okay, so I'll just kind of read a little bit for you. A further development of this same kind of logic is illustrated in figures, the one we looked at. Here, the sample and hold is used to create a retrograde canon in augmentation. Cool sounding. So retrograde means that it's going backwards. So there's 5/6, so it'll kind of go back over time. And then canon. A canon is kind of like frère jacques, where they start doubling on top of each other. In augmentation, I'm not 100% sure what in augmentation means there. This is probably beyond the resources of many readers, but an analysis of the patch is interesting. This instrument is an example of how overall compositional structure can be totally defined by the module configuration, and the performer can insert and define the sonic details. Here, 2 sequencers, A and B, are used in 2 different ways. Sequencer A generates a cycling pitch pattern, and sequence B is used as a non-synchronous, so not at the exact same time, pulse divider. The pulse output of the sequencer A triggers sequencer B, but the important relationship is that sequencer B is 1 stage less than A. In this case, A has 6 stages, B is set for 5 stages. Looking at the result pitches, is observed that sequencer B receives its pulse from the sequencer A, but will then send a pulse to the command input of the sample and hold only on its 5th increment. Assuming that both VCAs are offset and tuned to track in unison, so tune them the same, on the first event, both VCOs sound B flat, well, whatever you've tuned to. Okay, so if we go up, we'll just quickly look at the patch one more time, and you can see that this is what we're trying to build. Okay, great. So let's go back and let's look at, well, do we have it? We do. We have 2 sequencers. So rather than pause the video right now, I'm just going to kick into the sequencer part, because that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we need a 6/5 sequencer, and this is a really cool sequencer. This is really worth it. Look at my giant hands. I've got a tiny head and giant hands. That's the truth of what you need to have if you want to be an expert in synthesis, guys. You need to have tiny head and giant hands. What was that guy talking heads? Was it he wore the big suit because he thought he had a tiny head? Anyways, so if we continue on, so if I press play now there's no sound on this, but we can see that the sequence going, right? We've got 2 8-step sequences. Okay, so this can be set into a couple of modes, and it has an A and a B mode, and right now it's in A and B mode, and both are going forward. Okay, now one of the things you can do is you've got different sections here, and one of them is called active step. So we can see that this is just already getting to the same gate, so we don't need to worry too much about that. So this one can have 6 steps, so we can see it has 6 steps, and this one I'll make it only have 5 steps. So now it's 6/5. Okay, so if I we'll go back. So if I press stop, they'll start at the same time, but we'll see that they quickly start doing things. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is we're just going to turn off the steps that we're not using. And on this one, it said that every 5th step will output a gate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a gate out of here and gates out of here. I'm going to set up a standard patch, and then we should have that retrograde sequencer. So it'll be interesting to hear how it sounds, because I never set it up like this. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some somewhat boring things now. So I'm going to pause it, I think, for a minute. We'll check out the pause features in OBS. I'm going to tune the oscillators and then to unison, like it said, and then we'll come back. I got new batteries, so I think I'll just carry on, actually, because it is quite, I think I'll just carry on. So we have new batteries, so let's plug it in. We're good to go. And we're just going to tune these in to, we'll tune them to C. So this one is already in tune, you know, they're pretty stable. So we'll tune it and we'll just lock it in. So this thing, I don't know where is the camera? It just spins around and it shows you. It's a nice little one from Korg. I like it. And it's chromatic, which means it's not for guitars. And that one, we want to take it out of sync. And we can see that is that's actually kind of the same pitch, and I don't want it to be the same pitch. Okay, so we're in E, A, D, G, F, and we're nearly there now. Sorry, my friends. And we're on C. Okay, so we're locked into C now, close enough. There's a little bit of drift, but you can do nothing about that. I think that's pretty high, though. I think that, well, we'll see. We'll hear it in a minute. I should have tuned it in so as you could hear it, guys, but it's just pitch. It's really annoying. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get some of the cables out. We'll get some cabling going, and we'll just set up the very first sequence, okay? So the very first sequence is just going to be the straightforward, this 6-step one, okay? And luckily enough, I have that all right. So the CV is coming out here, and I'm just going to plug it directly into the, I might use a slightly longer cable. So I don't have any of my nice long red cables to hand, so I'll just leave that there. And CV out, I won't. I'll just put it in here. I don't like stretching the cables. And as well, we could use that for something else. We can always use that voltage for something else. Okay, so this is going to be oscillator 1. I like this one as oscillator 1. Okay. And we'll just we'll feed that one straight out into the filter. So it's going in here. And then we'll feed the output of the filter into the amplifier. So this is a VCO, VCF, VCA patch. So we're starting with our VCO, we're moving to our VCF, and then we're going to go down to our VCA. So voltage control filter, oscillator and amp. And so we're going out of the VCF, the filter, and we're going into our amplifier, okay? Now our amplifier needs to be controlled. We need to get volume out of it. So I'm going to send the output of the amplifier into the my mixer output. This is directly connected to these, which is going into Ableton. And then I'm controlling this from this sequence. The amplifier is going to be controlled voltage, is getting control voltage from this envelope, one half of the mats. So if I press play, we can see the mats is getting something. We should hopefully be able to start hearing it now if I tip off live. Turn this down for a second. I don't want to blast the ears off you. I'm worried about it being too loud, you know. Okay. So we have one sequence going. All right. That was pretty straightforward. And we can, open it up and okay. We'll change the pitches a little bit. Okay. Now this second sequence here, we do need to send this voltage 2 places. Okay, so I'll just stop it for a minute. We do need to send the voltage to 2 places because if we remember our patch, we need to send the pitch from this voltage into the sample and hold as well. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. We have it here. It's available here in my multi. So I can take that out. And like we said in the last video, by default, it's semi-normal to the white noise there, and the trigger input is semi-normal to the clock. There's a pulse in it, but I'm going to change that now. So the sample and hold is getting the same voltage as this oscillator, but we're only going to trigger it. Do I have one of these nice little flashy cables? This one, it might stretch. We're only going to send it on the gate out from B. So I'm going to trigger it. So sorry, I should have showed you that there. So I took the gate out from here, from sequence B, and I fed that into here. All right. So hopefully that means that this has been triggered. All right. So what we need to do now is I need to take the output of this, the sample and hold. So there's voltage coming in here. Every 5th step, you will get a voltage. All right, so I'm going to send that voltage out now, and we're going to use that to control this oscillator, the second oscillator. All right. Now we're going to send that oscillator. This oscillator again needs to be amplified. Sorry guys, this oscillator again. Oh, Jenny Mackers. This oscillator again needs to be amplified. So what I'll do is I'll just take it down. I'll give you the closer view on the modulator, I think, and then we'll go into the low pass gate. That gate needs to go to two places because I need one to trigger the sample and hold, and I need another one to trigger the envelope that I'm going to use to control the volume of that. So I'm going to send it into this here. I'll send it into the multiplier, into the multi, and that will create multiple versions of it. And what I'll do then is I'll use one of them to trigger the sample and hold, and I will use another one of them pulses to trigger this envelope here. Okay, so what should happen now is that this triggers every fifth one. All right, pop, and so we can see that we're getting that sequence now. It's being passed on. So what I can do now is I can take the output of this envelope, the voltage coming out of this envelope, and I will pass it into here. So now this is being controlled. Hopefully now we'll get volume. It's been turned up and down in volume. And we'll get the output from here. We'll stick it into here. So we'll turn it down, and we don't know how this is going to sound. There's FM going on there. Okay. It's cool, but I'm actually going to retune, okay? I'm going to retune it down. Oh, where'd my bleeding thing go? Because really, it's too high, okay? So I tuned it for a separate oscillator because for a different octave because I thought that'd be kind of cool. But I think in this, it did actually say unison in the sorry guys, we'll go back to it. Did actually say unison. It's already gone out of tune. Can you believe that? It did actually say unison. So what I'll do is I'll just tune it down. And there we go now. And then up a little bit. On B. Down a little bit. On B. Oh, hard to get. Lock. Hard to get. Jeez, it's getting it. See, I think it's getting its tiny little voltage from this. It's upsetting it. It's hard to get it there locked. Look at that! Wow. Now let's try it. Okay, let's try it now. See what happens. Okay. Right, well, let's continue the patch. What I might do now, actually, right, is I might pause here and try and get it to sound nice, okay? And then we'll see we'll see what happens. All right, so I think I'll pause. I guess this would have paused. All right, guys, little progress report. We're starting to get somewhere. Not there yet, but I thought I'd let you listen in before it goes too far, okay? So what we've done is I've just added some drums and I've tuned the oscillators and I've added a little bit of compression in here, kind of some side tuning and gating. So it's starting to kind of get a bit of internal movement, you know? So everything is coming out of here right now. There's no, like, I don't need Ableton or anything like it. This is just coming out here directly. So everything is being generated in this box apart from the pulses in the sequencer. So next step is to, it's starting to sound kind of cool actually. Next step is to start adding some hi-hats and things like that. But I thought we'd just check in before I move too far on. So I'm generating, I'm getting a clock from here. I'm creating a clock sequencer, sending pulses out to generate drums. I really tune these. I've got them a little bit sounding a little bit better. And I'm starting to mix things together and then feed them into the mixer. So it's getting a bit spaghetti-ish now, but we'll move on and we'll come back in a little bit and hopefully it'll sound a bit better. So I'll pause again. Quick little update, my friends. I need one of these. So it's just a multi, but it gives me 8 of them in one. So I want to send gates to multiple places, so I'm going to use one of these. Alright, that's it. Pause again. Alright, the basic idea is that I'm going to take some noise out from here. I have some white noise available here. I'm going to put that into an amp, and then I am using this to get just double the gate from here, because this only gives me half gates or divisions of the gate. So this will give me the straight gate, and then I'm going to use that to turn up and down the amplifier. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so we're all out of small cables, unfortunately. So I've taken the noise out. It's going into that VCA. I'm going to control the VCA with this gate, so it'll just open and close, I guess. So it should turn on and off the VCA, and we hear a little pop. Then we take the audio out and we put it into the mixer. Let's hear it. Can we hear it? Yeah, there you have it. Okay, alright. Tune back in later. Let's try and get these hats to sound okay. Alright, that's it for now. I'll just turn it down so we can fade in and out on the alright. Quick little update, my friends. The gate on this will control is the length of the gate. So if I am back on the modular here, we can see that it's opening and closing. So I have a little bit of control there with the gate. That's nice. Okay, let's discover the patch some more. See what else we can do. All right, so we'll pause it again. Okay, my friends, we're back. I have the patch now. It sounds a little bit better. Okay, now what you have to remember is that this is all coming from here. There's nothing else going on. There's no processing in Ableton. There's no, that's it. It's just straight out in the machine. This is everything that you're hearing in the box. So there's no effects or reverb or compression or EQ or anything. So you're just hearing the raw analog tone, my friend. So we'll just turn it up and you can hear it. It's killer. Okay. I'll leave it go a little bit so as you can hear it in your ear, and then I'm gonna change it a bit. All right. I hope I'm not too loud or distorted. I can't tell, you know. Looping the envelope. So you see what I'm trying to show you? You build a patch, you explore the patch, and then you try and have some fun with the patch and you see what you can get out of the patch. I'm not even sure if this oscilloscope was working now, but it looks kind of cool. Okay, so that's it for the retrograde, what did he call it? Retrograde Canon augmentation sequencer in the Alan Strange Buckala music manual. I'm just trying to show you how cool sample and holds are. Sample and holds are amazing modules, and they take a long time to learn because they're surprisingly powerful. You actually have an analog sampler right there, and people don't use them that much. You just use them usually for a bit of beepity boopities, but they're one of the more powerful modules that you have, and it's one of the main reasons. The sample and hold module is one of the main reasons that the Korg ARP Odyssey is, or the ARP Odyssey is just so cool. The way that the sample and hold is utilized in that synthesizer is awesome. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found it cool. I hope you kind of learned something. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to see some more, you can ask me if you want more basic patches or something like that. And I'm just, like I say, I've got a couple of weeks that I can mess around and make a few patches. I want to make a few videos and just have a bit of fun and see what I can do. All right, guys. Bye bye. Enjoy your day. Good luck.